Okay, Team Henny Given Sunday, welcome to your first scandal in week 2. This scandal involves Team Glass Chasing Emotion, which is Chase, and Team Eagle, which is Eli. The scandal is that Chase has been running Eli's team this entire time. He did his draft and he is running his team and participating as Team Eagle. The reason Team Eagle even joined our league was because at the beginning of the season, 48 hours prior to the draft, people on my volleyball team decided that they could no longer do it because of prior commitments. So we scrambled. We added Chris Mendez, thank you for joining, and Eagle on the last 2 players at the last minute to fill our league. And Chase gave me Eli's number to add him to our group message, but he also mentioned that Eli was not thrilled about all the work that was included. Jokingly, we both said we're probably going to be running the whole team and this and that, and there's documentation, text, and our iMessages to prove all of that conversation. Not once did he say that he would be completely running Eagle's team, and Eagle would not be participating whatsoever. The way we found this out was this afternoon during our group message when we congratulated Calvin for winning the Drades Award. Eli Eagle then responded to not all of us, but to most of us, saying, I'm trying to look for the message now. Give me a second, guys. Here it is. He said, all right, guys, this is Eli. If you can please remove my number from the group message. I asked Chase to let you know numerous times, but I guess he hasn't told you guys. If you can remove my number, that would be greatly appreciated. I said, done. I then messaged Eli privately and said, hey, Eli, it's Rachel, the commissioner of the league. I didn't know you needed to be removed, but how are you going to know what's going on in the league if you aren't participating in anything that we're doing? But sure, I'll remove you if you still want to even play or no, because I have people who will play otherwise. He said, Chase added my name because he told me a spot needed to be filled. I told him from the beginning I wasn't going to do anything. Hell, he didn't even tell me my number was going to be added. So I do apologize for the confusion he has caused, but I will not be playing. I said, so he's running your team? He said, I have no clue what he's doing, but I'm sure you can assume he probably is. I said, I'm sorry sorry your number was added. I thought when he gave it to me that meant you actually were playing and confirmed. He said he tends to cause a lot of confusion, but I thought he would handle it. I guess he didn't, but it's perfectly fine. Thanks for reaching out. Good luck this year. I said, no problem. Have a great weekend. And that was the end of our conversation. I then reached out to Chase and said, not only did I text him, but I messaged him on Facebook because we were talking about other things as well, and said, as I scroll up, give me a second, guys. This is a long... He messaged me at 12:11 p.m. after I'd already spoken to Eli. Can you take Eli out of the group? He keeps beeping. I said, yeah, I talked to him. Did you get my text? He said, well, he just told me to take him out, so yeah. I said he told you that from the beginning, but no worries, it's done. And are you running his team? He said he hasn't done anything at all. He goes, I told you that weeks ago. This is the exact same conversation we had about him potentially helping Eli because Eli knew nothing about football. And I was like, I took him out. It's confusing with who is responding to which message. Is this true? He said, I told you this weeks ago, Rachel. I said, no, you didn't. He said, I did, so I don't know what to tell you. I told you after that he didn't want to do it, but we needed him to. Whatever, I don't feel like talking about it anymore. I'll talk to you later. I said, I know you said he didn't want to be involved in the group chats and that that's all he was going to do. Not that he was going to play. Either way, the team knows now too. He said, cool beans. We definitely talked about this on the phone, FYI. We did not. I told you he was he wasn't super into how much work it would be. I said, exactly. Not that he was not going to do it. That part was unclear. He said, well, Rachel, if you want, I can just totally drop out. I said, no one wants that at all. That's not what I'm talking about. He said, so what's the point of this? I said, it was unclear that you'd be running both teams. Give up access to the Team Eli, and I'll have another person add to fill it. He said, no way. Why? If you want me out, that's fine. I said, so it's fair to everyone. You drafted 2 teams, and now you can trade to both of them and win constantly. That's not fair to the team. He said, have I made any unfair trades? I have not done a great job with both teams. I said, we don't want you out. Keep your team, but yes, give up Eli's team and someone else will run it. He said, no, I quit. Get someone to run both teams. I then said, why are you being like this? This is unnecessary. He said, because I brought this up from the beginning, from the get-go, that I would be running this team potentially, and you are pretending like I did some back alley stuff. It's making me upset. I said, no, you didn't. You said he didn't really want to be involved in the group chats. Now, not that he didn't want to play at all. Like, it's not a huge deal. Okay, fine, but now his team should just go to someone new who wants to play. It isn't a punishment. Really is, guys. He goes, I have been running 2 good teams, and I have not done a single sketchy thing. I said, I didn't say you did. He said, so if you want one out, both out. I was like, I'm not accusing you of that, just was unclear. He goes, I told you from the beginning. I said, again, no, you didn't. There's nothing to prove that. He said, I said, you didn't say he didn't want to be involved. I said, you said you didn't want to be involved in the group text, and the texting, not that he wasn't going to set his lineup and draft himself. He said, no, we talked about it on the phone. I was like, Janettis is doing the same thing, talking about how she doesn't want to be a part of the group chats or isn't going to really be involved because she works a lot. Go you, girl. But she's definitely going to play her own team and try to kick everybody's butt, which you're doing a good job. I was like, you even said he isn't happy about being involved, but he'll still play. Remember that conversation? He said, yes. Then he said, I told you he wasn't super into it, and Renee was the one who I thought would do a better job. Eli was there because you said we needed one more, and no one else was available. So I said I'm pretty much going to run his team for him. He doesn't really know much about fantasy football, but you know maybe I dreamed the whole conversation. I said that's the same with Jay and I. He doesn't know much about football or fantasy football. I'll give him advice, which is what I said, and you said, yeah, but I said I'll still beat his ass, and we joked about that. Never did you say that he wasn't going to do it or that he wasn't going to be an active member like you, me, Axel, and everyone else that's playing. He said, well, it's up to you, Commissioner. And then he said, FYI, I tried to get him more involved, and he didn't seem to want to be bothered by it. I said, well, and then he said, just let me know what you decide so I can know whether I've been wasting my time on all this or I can spend my future time in something else if you don't want me in it. Either way, I won't be upset. An hour later, he says, he said, sorry to put you on the spot. I said, you are fine. The group wants you to be in the league. You have a really good team. Remember, as a fair commissioner, I have to allow the entire team to vote. He said, after stepping away, I think about it, and I feel I might have been a bit rude to you. Yes, and I accept your apology. I want to apologize. I didn't want to upset you. And I said, and so we're waiting on their final decision, and I will make my ruling from all the evidence presented. You didn't upset me, and I'm sorry if I upset you. He said, cool, do I get to state my case? I said, I'm just trying to be fair overall, and I think you should play on the league. It'll be good for you. I said, yes, you do get to present a case, make a video, and send it to the group, as I am presenting this case to you. He said, okay. I wasn't trying to be unfair, by the way. I just did a lot of homework and research on both teams. I think even more so on the other team. I then sent him the same picture that I've also sent all of you on the league, where he made the trade with Team Eagle for 3 players and 3 players. He said, is that not a fair trade? I said, so if they decide that one team needs to go, we'll let you choose. You had both teams. It's fair for whichever team you are going to have to win, but player-wise, they're equally decent, which is true. Player-wise, the trade he made is an equal trade. Had it not been to 2 teams that he is both running, the trade would not be a problem. However, Chase, because you are running both teams, it is now a problem that both teams are running. He said, honestly, think about the week before. Manning played horribly. Most teams said drop or bench his. Martin had a horrible game. Todd Gurley and Vincent Jackson are both studs, and Kaepernick is a monster game. Both of them didn't make either starting lineups for Team Eagle or for Team Glass Chase of Emotion. So no matter how good they are, you still have better players. And I said, like I said, player for player, yes, it's fair. However, you had direction of both teams, and with Glass Chase of Emotion playing Tweet Babe in week 1, you had that lineup with you. Playing Wicks this week prior to the trade, you wouldn't have been projected to win, which is true. Had he kept his same exact lineup, which was Manning, Lacey, Martin, Johnson, Jeffrey, Stefani, Yeldon, the St. Louis Rams, and Hackernick, he would have only scored 157.3. He would have lost to Wicks by 4 points. With his new lineup in week 2, he traded out Morris for Yeldon. Yeldon would have scored 12.1, and Morris had a 13.9. He's projected at 155.7, but with Peyton Manning having a really great game last night, he's now projected at 159.4, winning by over 10 points to Team Wicks. He then said, if you look at the lineup and compare before and after, I would have scored higher with my team prior to the trade. I explained that information to you, explained the same thing to him in the following messages. As you can see, you're scrolling through. I sent him his lineup, I sent him the score, sent him the lineup. He then sent me, and I'll send this to you, team, his projections of what he assumed would be the group. That did not happen, clearly. I said, and no, Manning is old, but we know he has a solid running back and receivers, and any bad quarterback can make magic with a good line, which all of us know are true. He said the running is non-existent. I said either way, ESPN predicted that he would have a better game than Alex Smith. Watch the video attached here below. He's projected 43 on average every game, and I was like, yet he scored 78. Just talking about the team, he now again apologizes and says, I'm looking now for Glass Chase Emotion, whereas in the future for Eagle. Both teams are great, but Eagle is stronger on paper. But having fresh players that would be available in the later weeks, like Todd Gurley, is insurance against the top guy being injured, as well as nice third for bye week and flex weeks. It was very gated and thought out trade. Wouldn't it have been, if it wasn't, wouldn't it have been vetoed? Yes, it would have been vetoed had we known that you were running both teams. We did not. But like I said before, and everyone on the team can agree with me, player for player, the trade was fair. Person for person, you traded yourself, and you ran both teams, and you are now winning on both teams against two potential players, Mendez and Wicks this week, that you shouldn't probably be winning against. And team, that is all the evidence that I've collected in the last hour during my lunch break. I now leave it up to you as to what his punishment is. I did message the group individually, Chase, to let them know of the situation and to allow them to make a decision on it. As of now, the vote goes to, as I'm scrolling up on this too, guys, the vote goes that you were to give up the rights for Team Eagle and allow somebody else to it. Another vote for you to give up the rights, pick up Victor Cruz, JPP, and you have to start RG3 in the next 2 games if you pick him up as well. Kickers, Victor Cruz. Guys, whatever other punishments you feel are necessary for this trade, this will go into the history books as Scandal 1. Hopefully we will not have any more, but knowing our league, knowing you guys, I'm sure something else will come up in the next couple of weeks, considering we still have 13 weeks of playing. Anyway, if you guys agree with this, let me know. Chase, again, from the time I submit this video, you have 24 hours to submit your case, allow the team to vote, and then by Sunday, guys, we need to make a final decision on what we're going to do with Chase. Yes, we still want him in the league. Does he give up his team? Does he get points knocked off? What kind of punishments is he going to do? Is he going to have trades? Is he automatically in the Sacco Bowl? What are we going to do with this? And then we have to vote for a new player to either fill the team or to take all those players and trade them out for everybody else. If you agree, let me know. If you don't agree, let me know. Thanks, guys. It won't stop. I don't know why it won't stop. Stop recording.